Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to offer a new program to you. We're going to do something a little bit different here because unlike some of the programs that I offered on the channel before, this one is going to be more of an open template. I'm still going to write a program for you to follow in the description with references and lifts, but I'm going to give you the possibility to modify it. And today is something new. We're doing a body part split. Some people on the channel have asked for a 6 days a week split, and therefore this is what I'm going to offer because this is what I do. So this is going to be based on my mentality and the way I programmed for myself. Doesn't mean that it's the best for everyone, but it's the best for me. And since I speak so highly about body part splits, this is going to be a good way for me to also give you some of the finer details into why I believe that type of split to be superior, at least for hypertrophy. I'm going to slash one of the things that I do, which is mirror days or rotating lifts, because for me, I have a 6 day program, but in reality, my program has 8 days. And each day has a theme and it has a yin and a yang, if you will. The theme can be bench. It is going to be a pecs, triceps, shoulder split. And on one side of that is going to be day A. On the other side is going to be day B. And they both are going to still target the same muscles, but with different intensities, different variations, and different lifts. In the same vein, even within a certain day, for me, I have much more exercises lined up than most people would. And if you looked at my program, you would think that's way too much, and it is. But what I do is, the way I rotate lift is I take them in and out of my training, but they never go completely out of it. I decide on the day which one I'm doing based on what the week looks like, the tonnage I want to get, and the muscles I want to target. These variables I will introduce later on, but I'm taking it easy. For now, I'm putting you on a low temperature on the pan, and eventually we're going to ramp up. Not that I'm saying that you cannot take the incredible information that I have for you, it's just that it's going to be unclear, and I want the information to be clear and easy to understand. And because I want to focus more on the body part split type of things here, and not volume and intensity manipulation so much, or variation of the lifts and the rotations, we're going to stick to that. So let's get to it. 6 days a week. I am not going to base the program on that parameter. I am still going to give you a 4-day split. The idea behind that is this is going to give you the ability to really hammer certain muscle groups in certain weeks and others not. Because if you think about it, if it's a 4-day split, and each day has its own characteristic, if you do 6 days a week, 2 of these days will be repeated. So these will be 2 times during the week where the muscles will get twice as much frequency. That's a good thing because it gives you the ability to control the muscles that you want to target the most. This does not mean that this possibility is non-existent within other days. You will see that for me, the beauty of body part splits is also that you can just give yourself a tiny bit of lifts during one day that are still relevant to the split, are still synergistic with the rest of the body parts, but that are going to allow you to do what we call in my language un rappel, meaning that it's just enough volume to get some damage done to the muscle fibers, but you don't really want to dive deep. You just want to give it a little bit. Maybe because it's going to help you recover for a big day that's coming where that muscle needs to be strong, or maybe it's just because you want to give more volume to that body part for that day. If the opportunity and possibility is there, it's better than just improvising, right? So let's get to it. 4 days. Day 1 is going to be a pec, triceps, and shoulder split, or you can also call that an upper body dominant day. And that's the only muscles that we're going to try and really hammer on that day. Based on that notion, we're going to open the day with an horizontal press of your choice. It can be bench press, it can be dips, and it can be any type of push-ups if they're weighted. It depends on your preference. For me, I like the bench better. So you're going to start with that, and we're going to do evolving rep ranges for that. This is going to allow you to either go super low volume, high intensity, or lower intensity, high volume within that same day, and you will be able to that way progress through the days. After that, we're going to follow it with back-off sets of a variation of the main lift that we use as a strength work. So if you did some bench press, I advise you to do some pose bench after that. For the dips, you can do some pose dips. And for the press, for the push-ups, you can go and do potentially some deficit push-ups or some diamond push-ups. After that, we're going to focus on the vertical press. That way, we're going to protect the shoulders. We're still going to work the thread of the shoulders, and we're going to end the workout with something that is going to encourage shoulder health. I do think that horizontal presses, even though they are very beneficial for hypertrophy for the chest, they have a tendency to irritate the rotator cuffs. So we want to end with something like this. While we did not superset anything for the strength work, I do think that for your second set of pose bench, for example, you can do some long head of the tricep work as a superset. You will find that this does not take away from your ability to press. And in the same vein, for the last exercise, I'm going to prescribe an overhead press. You can do any type of overhead press you like, standing, sitting, or if you can do it with dumbbells, a barbell, you can do it with a log, whatever floats your boat. We are going to stay in the evolving rep ranges for that one. That way we start with the strength work and we finish with the strength work of a different nature. In the middle, however, the variation of the press that we did for the horizontal press variation for the extra volume, we're going to do in an evolving rep range, but we should stick to higher reps. Your evolving rep range can be from 4 to 8 reps. I would advise you to stay to 6 to 10 or 8 to 12 for the middle sets. But as far as the vertical press goes, we're going straight back to the protocol of the strength work. So you're going to be doing something that is going to be between 3 to 6 sets for this one. As far as the sets go, for vertical press, I think that you should always double what you do for horizontal presses. For me, since I always do 3 working sets max on the bench press, I will do 6 sets max on the overhead press. The overhead press, you will superset with pull-ups because you can never do too many pull-ups. And you can also, if you feel so inclined, also superset them with face pulls. That being said, some people will find that this tires the traps and the rear delts and therefore damages your ability to press. It's up to you to decide. If you are going to not do the face pulls, you can always follow the pull-ups with leg raises to get some work in. After that, the second day of the split is going to be a lower body focused split. So it's going to be glutes, quads, hammies, and the musculature of the hips. Some of the posterior chain is going to be also included because you're going to do hip hinges as well. We start with, on that day, a knee flexion. It can be a squat, it can be a lunge, it can be any variation of the squat or the lunge. It depends on what you like and what if you feel is the most conducive to hypertrophy for you. For me, it's squats. Same protocol, strength work, non-supersetted. We're going to stay within 1 to 3 sets of working sets. That of course can go higher or lower. You're going to have a hard time going lower than 1 set, but it can go higher if you so like. I'm just saying what I like. And we're going to stay between 4 to 8 reps as well. If you need to understand how to evolve the rep range from there, check out the videos in the Natural Bodybuilding playlist, and I explained that fairly well. After that, we're going to go into a hip hinge. The hip hinge can be whatever you like. I suggest something that is a deadlift variation, and to avoid good morning on that particular day, because I feel like it's redundant in terms of actual loading for the lumbar spine, So I would advise you on that day to do potentially something like a Romanian deadlift, a stiff leg deadlift. You do not want to do straight up deadlifts. You can also do deficit deadlifts if you want, but I'm asking you to not do block pulls or deadlift from the floor because that's not the point. The point here is to focus more on the hamstrings without going super high intensity or straight up doing normal deadlifts for higher volumes, because that's for another day. So you're going to stick to that same protocol, 6 to 10 or 8 to 12 reps. The sets can be 3 to 4. Don't go low reps on these ones. Don't go to 1, for example, it's too low. And at this point, even though it sounds fairly minimalist, we're pretty much done here. You can always finish the day with some back hyperextensions or some reverse hypers if you so wish. But I've personally always found that even though I'm not a big fan of minimalism, for lower body, it has never failed me. As long as the volume and intensity is flexible, you will avoid injuries for the most part. If you want to do some extra work for the calves, this is where you would put it. You can also do more work for the abs or for the lower back and the hammies. You can always get more hyperextensions done here. But because I am doing this as an entry-level body part split with very few variations and ability to modify the lift to avoid overuse injuries, since you're going to repeat those 4 days ad infinitum, basically, I need to make sure that I don't put too much things on the program so that you don't kill yourself repeating the days again and again. Day 3, is going to be your arm day. This is technically a day that is going to allow you to recover a ton because it's not going to tax your central nervous system as much. You are going to start with a curl, and I say a curl. Here, there's no negotiation. I'm not saying a chin up. The chin up, the weighted version of the chin up, is a good lift. In my opinion, it's not the best for bicep size, and this is an arm day. So, also keep in mind that for the previous day, if you want to do pull-ups supersetted with the Romanian deadlifts, you can and you should. So as far as the arm day goes, you start with a curl. We are going to work an arm day in the format of a giant set. This is going to be your introduction to giant sets, because eventually you're going to find that the ability to do giant sets for everything but your strength work is going to drastically improve your ability to accumulate tonnage fast and to keep your cardiovascular activity high, which is what I end up doing, right? I do giant sets even for lower body lifts, which is, I think, very conducive to hypertrophy. So you're going to superset those curls with some shoulder movement. It's going to be lower weight, and it should be some type of raises. It can be front raises, it can be lateral raises. It's up to you to pick the variation you like. After that, we're not done with the superset yet. You're going to superset that with the long head of the tricep movement. And this is going to be the end of the giant set. Mine go much deeper than that. I do forearm movements and stuff, but this is more advanced. So for now, we're staying cool and collected. For the curls, I advise you to treat it as strength work. This is how you get big arms. Treat it as strength work and stay within 3 to 7 reps. This is what I do. Yes, it's heavy, but if you're smart about it and you don't steal the work of the bicep by cheating too much, you'll be fine. This is not cheat reps. We're not doing cheat curls here. This is normal, regular reps. You can do them with dumbbells. You can do them with an easy bar. Whatever you like. You can do armor curls if you want to, if you feel like this develops the bicep. I'm just asking you to please do curls in a manner that is conducive to progress and hypertrophy with high intensity. So we're doing 4 sets of 3 to 7 reps for curls. After that, for your lateral or front raise with dumbbells, you're going to go still relatively high weight for 6 to 10 reps. The form needs to be clean, no swinging. And then we're going to go higher reps again for the long head of the tricep work. It can be any movement you like, skull crushers, French press, behind the head, dumbbell extensions. And we're going to do 8 to 12 reps for 4 sets as well. So as you see, we pyramid up in intensity within the giant set so that we start with the higher intensity and we slowly move our way up to more and more reps. And at the end, we reach a peak of cardiovascular and muscular fatigue that is going to temper down so that we can start the next set with the highest intensity stuff that requires you to be fresh. You do 4 sets of that. After those 4 sets come what I would call the accessory variation, meaning that you are going to pick a variation of a press. It can be an horizontal or a vertical press, and you're going to train that on that day. It needs to be something less taxing. So you're not going to be doing full-on high-intensity overhead press here or full-on bench press. You might pick something like a close grip bench or an incline press or a Viking press, something that is going to be still relevant. The Viking press is not that specific or relevant, but still pick something that's relevant to your main horizontal or vertical press, and you're going to train that. And we're going to train that for hypertrophy. So you're going to do that lift, so let's say for example a close grip bench. You're going to do 4 sets of 6 to 10 reps so that we still are high volume, but we still get some intensity going. And you will superset that with whatever you want, but it has to be arm specific. If you want to do more long head of the tricep, go ahead. More forearm, go ahead. More hammer curls for the brachialis, go ahead. It's up to you. It's up to you, your liking. And we are not going to do a giant set here. It's just a superset, and we're done there. The arm day is going to stay relatively short. It's not going to be as much tonnage as you would expect, but it's still going to yield some fairly interesting results in terms of arm size. Of course, this might be low volume for some, but keep in mind this is an introduction to body part splits, on this channel at least. And the last day is your pull from the floor day. You start with a pull from the floor. I don't care the style, conventional, sumo, Jefferson, I don't care. But we're going to do it in a high intensity style. You're going to do it from 2 to 5 reps, from 1 to 3 sets, and we're going to go hard. This is your one time where you pull from the floor in the window of 4 days, so you can go hard. After that, we are going to do a knee flexion. So you can do a post squat, you can do a front squat, you can do anything you want, and we're supersetting that with pull-ups. We're going to do the knee flexion in a 6 to 10 or 8 to 12 reps. Rep scheme. I would advise you to do 6 to 10 for the higher intensity, but that's up to you. We're doing 4 sets. The pull-ups are as many reps as possible, and you finish the day with abs or calves. That's up to you. And that's it. That is a body part split. I sort of forgot to mention that what I call an arm day is really a forearm, bicep, tricep, shoulder day, because I always like to detail my days like this. They don't just have names, they also have criterias. And the deadlift day, the pull from the floor day, is a glute, hamstrings, lower back, upper back day. On this day, on this particular day, you can also, if you wish, include an horizontal pull. You already do a lot of vertical pulls. Horizontal pulls come in handy. I personally do think that they are very beneficial for the thickness of the upper back. You might also feel that it's too much volume. This is where the 6 days a week principle comes into play, because you're going to realize that, hey, if you do that, you're going to end up with times where you pull from the floor twice in a week, and there's still going to be in there a day where you squat heavy. That might prove to be too much for some people. If that's too much for some people, you take the deadlift out and you replace it with rows, pendlay rows, cheat rows I wouldn't advise because you're still going to use too much lower back, but pendlay rows, you can do cell rows, and all of these are going to allow you to not load the lumbar spine with so much tonnage and still get some horizontal pulling in, and that is overall very beneficial. So this is going to be it for this new program. It's going to be in the description. It's going to be much more open because it's a template. And I want to start doing more things where I'll let you guys decide for yourself and think for yourself. I gave you the keys to understand the program, so I think that's going to be enough for you to wrap your head around. Keep in mind that this is going to be a type of body part split that people who've never touched that type of split can try and build upon. This is where you're going to do that and say, okay, this is too much volume, I don't like this, and you modify it. I am not the type of person who don't like when they modify your program. For me, a program needs to be modified because no program is exactly tailored to you. People who tell you that, they're lying. Even if you pay them so that they make you their program, they don't know you. So they might hit the mark because you gave them enough info, but you should always have the ability to modify your own program. I mean, I don't think people are idiotic. You know yourself, you know what you're able to do, and if you want to progress, you're going to do what is right. So that's it. It's in the description. Any question you might have, please let me know. Have a good day.